welcome once again to another edition of our literary program In Conversation with Young Minds. Like always, we are once again gathered in the studios of Doordarshan Shillong to discuss the literary acumen of some college-going students. And like every month, we are back with you with another set of students. This time round, we have the students all the way from Jowai. They are students from Thomas Jones Synod College. Of course, that college is in Jowai. Well, these students are with me. They are Agatha L. Jongte. We are also being joined by Dashai Lin Nongshli. And not to forget, to my extreme left is Shen Shua Thma. Well, they are all students of the college, and they are from various semesters, from the 3rd semester, from the 5th semester. They are from the literature background, they are from commerce background. One is also from the education background. We will be interacting with them. We will be talking about their writing skill, what really took them into the field of writing poems, etc. So you be there on the other side and enjoy this program once again with us. So hi there, my dear students. A very, very hearty welcome to each one of you to this program and to Doordarshan Shillong. Yes. Y'all have traveled all the way from Jowai, so we are really, really happy to have students from, Thomas Jones Synod College. So I hope you're all doing fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So you are, of course, Agatha, right,
yes,
Agatha?
Yes, ma'am.
I have given a very brief, introduction. So I'm sure that you would like to introduce yourself a little bit more well about yourself. So tell us a bit more of yourself.
My name is Agatha L. Jongte. I'm from the 3rd semester from Thomas Jones Synod College, Jowai. I'm from the Commerce Department, and I write poetry in my free time.
All right. So we will be discussing about your work, what kind of poems you write. Let's come to Dashai Lin, Sister Dashai Lin, right, sister? So tell us a little bit more about yourself.
So introducing myself, I would like to say that my very existence began with a beautiful paradox, a story often told in my family. The day I was born, the enchanting hills of Sora were dark and draped with heavy veil. But the very moment I emerged from my mother's womb, the clouds parted and there was a victorious sunshine. So it was this celestial welcome that inspired my parents to name me Dashai Lin, a name which means the one who shines bright. Wow. Though I was born in Sora, but I was cradled by the warm and beautiful place of Nongpo in Rabhoi district. And at present, I stay in St. Mary Matzerlo, Jowai, navigating the beautiful complexities of language as a student of 5th semester and pursuing my degree in the English department at Thomas Jones Synod College, Jowai.
Wonderful introduction. Thank you so much. Let's come to Shen Shua.
My name is Shen Shua Thma. I'm from 3rd semester from Education Department. I like reading books and listening music and watching dramas. That's all.
Okay, and you're also into poetry writing?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay. We will be also, hearing from you. But then it's such a wonderful welcome. I'm so pleased that you all three are here to discuss. So let me come to Dashai Lin right away. Dashai Lin, your introduction was so wonderful, so poetic it was, Yes. Phil, I could almost imagine everything that you were saying. So I'm sure that these kind of imaginative words, very flowery words that you have also used, are also being used in your poems, right? Yes. So what kind of works do you write?
Okay, first and foremost, I would like to tell that my journey into words however, began not in the classroom, but in the empty lines of a Bible diary. So facing with those empty lines, I felt an invitation to fill them. So I start to write, scribbling my thoughts, my days, my journey, and the real stories of the world around me. Instead, however, my journey into reading began with a dose of laughter at myself, because I fondly remember those days when I hilariously confused words with saying cemetery when I meant dormitory or a factory. So, I was so embarrassed and ashamed myself, but I don't let myself to be in that situation. However, I took the challenge that I should learn more, read more. So, this challenge blossomed into what I am today, like immersing myself in the pages of countless books.
How lovely. Every line you are uttering actually makes me imagine that someday you're going to be a big author or a big poet. Right? I really hope these vision of mine comes true. Coming back to you, Agatha, what kind of work and what took you into writing? What makes you write your works?
Mostly I do poetry. Poetry, not rhythmic poetry, of course. I was into poetry when I was in class 11, I think, because I feel like writing in paper is more easier than saying things aloud in conversations. Thank you.
Okay. So you said that you express your emotions. Now, what kind of emotions are those?
Emotions as in like sadness.
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 Okay. So what makes you sad?
Everything makes me sad.
Why? I mean, what is there to be so sad about? Tell us some of the sad things around you.
Sometimes in life there are some problems, and some we cannot tell them always aloud, always. So I scribble them down in words, even though I don't know the exact words. I just scribble them down, and on the way, I just started loving poetry. Then I think that's pretty much when I started loving poetry.
Okay. And Shenshua, what kind of emotions flows into your works? What do you write? What are your inspirations, etc.?
Oh, basically I write about my own story, about me and my dad. So it makes me sad that I love sitting alone in the room. I never walk outside. Then.
So you mean to say you're an introvert at times?
Yes, that time I was introvert. Then after that, I sit alone in my room.
And you put your thoughts into words.
Yes.
You know, every time I have had students of different colleges in this very platform, they have always told me that, poems at least listens. There's somebody who's listening, because the world outside doesn't listen, right? It's too complicated outside, and therefore one immerses, and it is a safe zone, one safe zone. So, Dashailan, if I can come to you, do you also feel the same way, that it is your safe zone, or do you feel that no, this is another bit of another talent which I am going to explore? It's not the safety valve really.
For me, I don't think that books is only my safe place, because mostly for us religious, whenever we face any problems, we always have God to communicate. Of course, at times I may not be able to pray and to tell to God what my emotions and all, but through writings, when I sat alone, I used to write, and that is the communication, my communication with God.
Absolutely. So now let us quickly come, because I will want you to listen two of your works. So let's begin by hearing some of the works, so that all the viewers who are watching this program will understand what kind of poems you all are writing. Let's begin with you, Agatha. What have you brought for us to read?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Let me read one of my very own. I composed this. It's called The Art in All of Us. Let me start. An artist pours feelings on paper. A musician strums them on a guitar. A dancer lets them slip through emotions. A poet sends them traveling afar. A singer hides their ache in melody. A painter blends it in a sky so wide. A writer bleeds between their sentences, each word a secret they can't confide. A sculptor shapes what silence means. A photographer captures fleeting grace. We all, in our own quiet ways, try to give the heart a place. For every word's unsaid, everything that makes us feel small, we turn it into something worth living. And who do we call people like us, choosing one thing over something we love most, often called dreamers? But we are all artists, and that's the art in all of us.
Oh, beautiful. I love the
Thank you
last
so
two lines that you have written, right?
Thank you,
We
ma'am.
all are special. Yeah?
Yes.
Often we forget, we tend to forget it, seeing the chaos around us. But I think we all are meant to do something in life.
Yes.
And that's why we are here. And I think, Sister Dashailan, you will totally agree with me, because in your communication to the Almighty also, I'm sure this is one thing that has come to you very strongly, that we are all meant to contribute something meaningfully.
Yes,
Right?
sure.
So what is it that you have for us?
Okay, for me, I have written this months ago, and the name of this poetry that I have written is about the unbroken path. So a little introduction about this is about a little girl with a big dream, a passion to go higher. So this girl, she's a close friend of mine. She have been sharing all her difficulties, because she wants to be a doctor, but there is less support from the family. So I would say she would go alone and then away from the family. And then she used to tell me that, since my passion is higher, So I don't want myself to let lose herself, means in those emotions in the world. So I was so inspired by her sharing with me. So I have written this poem about her, and it's not just about her, it's for all the young people over there who find problems, difficulties in life. So straight away I would like to read it. So I have, as I have said, the title is The Unbroken Path. A girl with a dream, in uniform bright, chose science alone for her family's spite. Then COVID's cold hand turned futures to grey, shattered her plans and led her astray. But embers still glowed where the fire had been. She cut the world out, let the silence begin. She left home behind, a solitary fight, through betrayal and struggle into the night. Two routes now she works, dentistry arts and vice new calling, which mends her old heart. The balance is brutal, the progress is slow, but she feels her dream breathing a resilient glow. What broke her once now had forged her resolve, a story of strength she was destined to solve. The shards of the past, with courage she set into a mosaic of no regret. For the dream was not lost, but merely remade in the image of strength that her struggles displayed. Her service continues, not as she first planned, but by lifting the fallen with a compassionate hand. Grateful for struggle, for lessons and pain, she knows in her soul nothing shines without rain. With a spirit unbent and a faith ever true, she whispers, "Thank you, God, for this life made anew."
So nice. You know, what I like is that you not only are a very compassionate person, you have understood this person so well that you've put her in her place, literally, and it is a true story at the end of the day, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure that it's going to inspire so many others who struggle, because, you know, life, they say, is so much struggle. And in all of that, we have to find our path, right? Let's come to you, Shenshua. What have you brought for us to read?
So basically, I write short poems about my dad. The title is Still in My Heart. You walk away without goodbye, leaving me beneath a silent sky. The stars don't shine the same tonight since you took away their lights. Time moves on, but I remain, lost between love and pain. You may be gone, but not apart. You live forever in my heart. That's
so sweet, so nice. You know, y'all are all in the college level, degree level, and degree level now is a 4-year course, right?
Yes.
It's a tough years ahead. Yet y'all are finding so much of time. So when do y'all usually write? When do you write? When is your time to write?
Me, usually I write every time. I usually sit on a bench near my college anytime.
Okay.
When I'm alone, most of the time when I'm alone, I sit on the college bench and I find, let's say, a specific tree. And the specific tree has beautiful leaves. So I write about that leaves. One time I even wrote about my own Converse, my shoes. Okay. It's called a white Converse. So basically, anytime I have the time to write, I write everything.
Okay, so that means you are very not only imaginative, but you look at minute things in life.
Yes,
so many things we overlook that, right, sister? You'll agree with me that many times beauty is all around us, but we sort of surpass all of them and we don't concentrate at all. Even a fallen leaf will have some beauty in it.
Yeah.
So when do you write? When do you find the time to write?
Okay, for me, from the time that I was in class 9 till today, I have written 7 versification. And those poetry, I have written them in different places. Like when I go to the beautiful place, one of the poems that I have written is the Sung Valley, that is in Jowai. So when I reach that place, so I jot down what I saw. Then when I reach home, I write. So basically, every day I set a personal time to write. But then sometimes words don't simply fall. So when I think, and then when the words came to my mind, so I put and pen down into writing.
That's so nice, you know. And are you all readers? Do you all read any novels or any books, any literature books? What about you, Shenshua? Do you read any?
Yes, I
Yeah?
do read.
Okay.
I read my own story
Oh, your own stories
Yes.
that you write. Okay.
that I have experienced in my life.
All right. Okay. All right. So, are you all readers also? Do you all think that reading or having a habit of reading is important?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit.
Because when we read, we not only read about the things that the authors write, we read about what they feel, and in return, let's say it reflects the same to us. They write about their own surroundings, and then in a way, we feel like we have to write about our own surroundings as well. And I say that's the beauty in reading and in writing as well.
But you are from the commerce background.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, literature is not really words. Is not. I think commerce is more about calculations
Yes.
and all that, right?
Yes.
But you have interest in literature as well.
Every time.
That's nice. What about you, Dashailin? Any reading habits you have also personally?
Yes, the reading habit I cultivated from that time that I felt so embarrassed about those mistakes in words.
Okay.
So from that moment till today, I always set aside or set a limit to read. And so every day I would spend half an hour to read. So basically in a year I finished 10 to 12 books. So those books maybe from the novels, also from the poetry, then something like that.
It seems that I think all of you all are very disciplined. I think having a disciplined life is important. Yeah, and because these days what happens is even of your age or even younger to you all, they spend so much of time in the mobile, right? I mean, watching reels and other things. Of course, those are also, I'm not saying they're absolutely worthless. Maybe they give some kind of imagination to oneself, but do you think that using one's time in a worthy manner is important to give direction to your life? What do you have to say on that?
Yes, I believe using one's time is very important actually, because as much as we spend our times on mobile phones, which we all do, I think, old or young, in this world, everything, I think we also spend our time now on mostly on books. I feel like the youth nowadays are spending more times on novels. Any novels is okay. On novels, on books, any kind of books, rather than on their mobile phones. And I feel like that's very good. Because let's say
because it enriches our knowledge, you know, it can give us so much of other viewpoints also, right?
Yes.
I think, Dashailin, you'll agree with me that we shouldn't be so constricted within our own thoughts and ideas, right? We should be able to embrace everything within us, and that will come only if we accept everything around us. Yeah.
Yeah, we should be creative in our way of living, also disciplined, but we have to balance between everything in life.
That is so important. The word that you've used, balanced life, is so important, right?
Yes.
Because, you know, things are getting tougher and increasingly so competitive. And of course, youngsters like you sometimes fall prey, to maybe frustrations, etc. But at the end of the day, if we lead a disciplined life right from the beginning, it will give direction to our lives, right? I also want to ask you all one question. Supposing there is one thing you would like to change around you. I begin with you, Shenshua. Supposing you see so many things, good, bad, ugly, evil, whatever. If there is one thing you would like to change around you in the society, what do you think you would like to change? For the better, of course.
The person, what they think about others,
Okay.
they should be like
The mindset of people.
yes, the mindset that they should be beyond what they think.
That's good enough. That's good enough. The mindset of the people, I think this is one important thing that needs to change. Yeah, you would agree with what would you like to see a change around you, you feel?
Okay, for me personally, the change that I want in the society and especially in the young people is that they should read more.
Because reading habits is getting so reduced day by day,
Yes.
right? I mean, have you noticed that whenever there is something, some article or some news, even in your mobile, the time is mentioned there, 1 minute read, 2 minutes read. I often wonder, why have they written that? Is it because that they are begging us to give us their 1 minute, our 1 minute or 2 minutes? Because even that much of attention span we don't have, it seems, right?
Yes.
So what is that change you would like to see around?
I feel like the change we need to make in our society is how we perceive others. We often say, she's beautiful, he's ugly, she's fat, he's thin. I think that needs to change because we're all beautiful in our own ways. And I feel like that downgrades the mindset of people. And I believe that the perspective of people, the mindset of the people, I think that needs to change.
Absolutely, something so akin to what she has said. We are almost wrapping up, you know. So Shenshwa, you have anything more for us to share? To read
Yes,
for
I
us?
have
Yes,
written
please share with
something.
us. One more before we wrap up this program.
It's about memories and feeling of loss. In the quietest moment, I hear your voice, a gentle whisper, a comforting noise. I miss your laughter, your stories untold, Dad. You are the hero I'll always behold. The world keeps spinning, time marches on, but in my heart, you're never gone. I miss your wisdom, your guiding light. Dad, you made everything feel alright. I wish I could turn back the clock to hear your voice, to feel your rock. I miss your hugs, your gentle touch. Dad, losing you hurt so much. Every day I wake up and remember the love you give, the warmth of your embers. I miss your smile, your caring way. Dad, I miss you more than words can say. Though you have gone, your love remains, a constant force running through my veins. I miss your presence, your guiding light. Dad, I miss you every day and night.
So wonderful. I'm sure wherever he is, he has full of blessings for you. And you should rise up to that and fulfill all his dreams and wishes one day. Okay, so Sister Dashailin, one last work of yours you'd like to share?
Yes, ma'am. So, as I have said in the beginning, that my inspiration is from the Bible, those empty lines. So that's why I have written something about it also. So the title is An Ode to the Primal Word, means about the Holy Bible. Before the continents began to drift, before the stars were kindled in the sky, you were the sentence, the eternal gift, the breath that shaped the void which I cry. You are not ink on aged, fragile scrolls, but living syntax pulsing in the dust, the cadence that a dying soul consoles, the meter balancing the good and the just. You are the lexicon that named the light, the metaphor of bread and wine, the protagonist in history's long night, the perfect rhyme in this fractured line of mine. You birthed the epic David's desperate psalm, the lyric grace of Ruth in fields of gold, the stark revelation, vast and calm, the parable 1,000 times retold. And when I face the page, a barren plain, my mind a vacuum, stripped of thought and art, I do not plead my inspiration in vain. I come to you, the source, to play my part. For you who spoke the nebula to birth, who tuned the rhythm of the moon and tide, you plant the seeds of stories in the earth, and let my humble pen stand by your side. So let my writing be a faint reflection, a whispered echo of your great I am, my soul, my ultimate inspiration, my guiding lexicon, my healing balm. In every line I read, in every line I write, be thou the quintessence and the living core. My darkest night is shattered by your light, my silent page, a canvas for your roar. That's all.
Beautiful, so nice. So since we are running out of time, a quick work of yours you'd like to share?
Thank you, ma'am. My poems are usually very messy, but today it behaved its best for Doordarshan, I think. So one poem is called Carry On. I've seen poor folks smile with little, a tin roof leaking, yet laughter inside. Children chasing a broken ball, and meals stretched with love, not wealth. They make the best of scraps and pieces, patching clothes, patching dreams, still finding songs in the hardest nights. Their hope stronger than their hunger. They taste small luxuries slowly, a festival dress, a dinner out, not drowning in riches, not empty in need, just afloat in modest comfort. And I stand watching it all, feeling the world in their faces, grateful for these reminders that happiness grows even in struggle, just enough to carry on, but not enough to rest too long.
Very hopeful. I think you all are budding, writers, budding poets, and I'm sure you'll have a bright and a successful future ahead of you. Keep believing, keep writing, keep reading, and keep continuing to do your best. Thank you so much, each one of you, Agatha, Sister Dashailin, and Shen Shua, for coming all the way from Jowai to the studios of Lightcore here and sharing your work and talking to us. Thank you. It was a real pleasure for us to have, and I wish you tons of good luck in your career ahead. Thank you
so much, ma'am, for having us.
So, dear friends and dear viewers, these are the students of Thomas Jones Synod College who have just spoken their heart, their mind, and shared their beautiful works with us. I hope you've also enjoyed being a part of this program today. And from all of us here, until next time, it's bidding you goodbye.